Alright. It has been forever since I started my stream of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and finally happily getting back to it here. Life just got busy here for me, and I won't bore you with the details. And then I got hooked on Sonic Mania, which is an incredible game. Hopefully we'll be streaming that at some point in the future. The version I have is for my Switch though, and I do not have anything to currently connect that to my computer or OBS. So we'll continue to work with this game and A Hat in Time, and beyond that we'll see what people are interested in. So just for a quick refresher, this is the third stage of my favorite Sonic game, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Marble Garden Zone. And you're very quickly going to find that I do not remember any of these level layouts. Being Tails solo in this level is really helpful. There are certain stages in this game, like right here, if I was Tails, I could just fly straight up there. If I was Knuckles, I could climb up there as well, though there may be more spikes, so it may be a Tails only area. Oh, I love that right there. These enemies, they're like spring spikes. And I'm going to be paying it kind of glancing down at the chat every once in a while here, so if anybody joins in on this session, give me a shout, and it'll probably take me a couple of minutes to notice that you're here with us. But if I do go to some of the bonus areas in this game, the blue sphere stages where you get the emeralds in this specific version of Sonic, hopefully at this point I should be pretty good at them, because Sonic Mania repeats a lot of, if not all of the same blue sphere stages. So I've had time to practice. I know I've beaten a good majority of those. Actually, I've beaten all but one that are in this game, in Sonic Mania. From the looks of it here, I've been hit about 500 times. It's like you wouldn't think that I've played a Sonic game in a while. might be one of those statues that I have to hit, or another path. Let's see. I don't actually remember. There seriously was a point in time where I had this game memorized. It's gotta be back here somewhere. That was close. Evil. Here we go. So, for those of you who are not familiar, this is a blue sphere stage. In this game, you need to beat all of them to collect the Chaos Emeralds to get the true ending and to unlock the ability to use Supersonic. I'm going to be a little bit redundant here, but if you may have noticed, if you are able to completely box several of these in, you clear all of them and turn them into rings. Which is pretty sweet. Oh goodness. So I just need to find a couple of these. Here we go. That's all of them. Alright, I actually did it on my first try. Looks like we got somebody who joined in the chat here. I don't know if you're, or someone who's viewing the channel. I don't know if you're actively at your keyboard, but thanks for joining me, and feel free to post something there. There we go. This baby. Oh goodness. Crap. I'm in the 3rd level of this game, losing all my credibility. I have 1 life left. Gosh, darn it. No! No! Oh, oh, it hurts. I think we'll continue. And look at that. It was nice enough to put me at my previous checkpoint. So this is the point in history where, in video game history, where game overs were starting to matter less and less. That's right, already got that. I do not remember how to get into that spot right there. It might be something you have to do with a different character, or it may simply be you just go backwards to it. Hey look, there you go. And this will definitely help me get through that spot that I was stuck on. Oh, maybe not. This may simply be just for the one-up, but I'll take it. Ah, you know what? I remember how I get through that section now. You need to be on the spinning top. There's certain walls in this level that you can only break while you're on those. And that is the second or third time I did that. That one's breakable. I need this guy. I should not ditch it carelessly like I did. Go. There we go. And if I had built up speed, this would probably be cool. It's just annoying though. And I probably needed it to get through there as well. Wow, that was pretty close. Take the fire shield. Now I don't want to gamble. I hate to keep doing this, but if you get a ring while you're at 50 or above, you'll get a continue. I just don't want to get all of those guys and lose them all like I did right now. Holy crap, that was close. I promise I won't prolong this forever here. I'll get back to the actual game. Alright, and actually before I continue this, excuse me for a second. Wow. Still seem to be having trouble with the app version of Twitch here, so it's annoying, and hopefully I won't continue to run into this in the future. I'm just going to pull up the chat on the side window on my PC. So hold on, hang tight. Probably gonna hear somebody else's stream for a second right here. Okay, I have what should be a significantly more reliable chat window here. So, if you are on and watching, feel free to send a message, and there's a much better chance I'm not going to miss it here. Let's jump back into this game. So this is the first mini boss. I guess there's only one mini boss per level, but it is first one that I've run into today. Pretty easy guy there. All you had to do was dodge those little stalactites that fall. Kind of sad that I died at a couple of sections of the level so many times. So easily beat that guy here. But so now we've got Robotnik who pops up, and he's going to taunt us a little bit through the level here. This is a segment that takes inspiration from Hilltop Zone in Sonic 2, where you've got this lava rising. As kids, it always just was the most panic-inducing experience. Just kind of like, you know, any kind of rush moving level. This one's different though. I think there may be some sections in here with lava, but I think it's more areas opening and closing and crushing you instead. Okay, let's go Blue Sphere 2 for 2. That was a really stupid mistake right there. I just lost that opening. So that means technically I can jump 2 of those pretty easily. But once this thing speeds up, it is not going to be easy. So that spot where I started, I'm going to have to actually finish at, which once I've converted these to a bunch of reds is going to become very tricky to find. Let's not go that way. Well, I have no choice now. Whew. It may just be all of these side ones. I feel like there should be one more big group though. Whew. Oh man, this gets frustrating when you're this close. Okay, alright, 2 for 2. And there's a continue. Alright. Probably gonna need that at some point. So this level has a very unique theme to it. It's a little bit similar to Hilltop Zone in Sonic 2, but it's got kind of those pillars, almost like a Greek architecture, like a garden. But it's not particularly one of my favorites. I find it a little bit obnoxious. But to be completely frank, I like the levels of Sonic and Knuckles better than Sonic 3, so you will see those as I get into the second half of this game here. And this is my favorite little mini game here. If I don't completely mess it up, I did. Still got a bubble shield. Nothing like building up speed and then running in the wrong direction. I don't know if every Sonic game has a different invincibility jingle, but most of them do, if not all of them. I believe I need a spinning top. Maybe, no, I was wrong. Just needed to break that. I should be getting pretty close to the boss of this level. I think there's one more segment where Robotnik's gonna try and crush me. But it's a cool boss. That doesn't mean it's an easy boss. I'm probably going to die. But it is definitely one of the most unique bosses in the first few games of the series. Ooh, that's interesting. Up arrow, so it wants me to go that way. No! There we go. So cruel. Okay, I feel like this is the spot where they're gonna get me. Just a moment. Alright, here we go. Yes, so he's gonna pop up here. And this is the one where the pressure is on. You'll see as I get to certain sections right here. Here we go. If you're not quick enough, you're not going to make it through and you'll get crushed. It's funny going back to this after Sonic Mania. The enemy placement in this is much more cruel. Okay, so here's the boss. This is pretty cool here. Take advantage of getting a hit or two on him here. So you get a boss where Tails helps you. And that was what I was worried about. If you do not time those, what makes this difficult is even though you can't die by falling, you lose all your rings with one hit here, so. Yes, alright. Carnival? Yes, Carnival Night Zone. So fun fact, when we were kids, Casino Night was probably our favorite stage from Sonic 2 because it's like a giant pinball slot machine and there's so many bright flashing things. It makes it a lot of fun. This is like that minus all the fun. Okay, not completely true. It's still a decent stage. It's got a lot of movement and some special animations in it, but personally I don't have as much fun playing it. It's a little bit tedious. There are a lot of bumpers in places that just get in your way. Alright, so can we do 3 for 3 blue spheres? Oh gosh. Oh. Hey Phoenix, thanks for jumping on. Sorry I wasn't clear about when I was getting on. I think it may have just gotten lost in our big group text. Luke, cool. Thanks guys. I guess all 3 of you missed it. That's alright. The level you missed was not the most exciting. The only cool thing about the level I was in was the boss, and Luke, I'm willing to bet that you probably have seen it before. I'm sure Alex played it at some point in time years ago. Okay, I do not want to go into this... I do not want to go into this little roulette slot machine thing anymore because I have 100 rings. This is why I don't like this level. 101 rings gone instantly. So to you guys tuning in, this is my, this is only my part 2 of Sonic 3 and Knuckles playthrough. I started it a couple of months ago and just it took me forever to get back to it. But gonna try and do this one more regularly. I really love this game. Got hooked on Sonic Mania for a while and just beat that a week or 2 ago. So, I've got a pretty decent record here. In this play session, I beat 2 of these bonus games and lost to 1 so far. Which for me is pretty good. For anyone who plays these games regularly, that's probably pretty bad. And not to sound like a broken record, but the point of those is if you collect every single one of those blue spheres, you get a Chaos Emerald. And in all the traditional Sonic games, you collect all the Chaos Emeralds and then beat the final boss. You get the true ending, and I don't believe Super Sonic is in the first one. I think he debuts in Sonic 2, but if you have all the emeralds, you can... Oh, terrible placement of that enemy right there. Evil, evil. It's gonna put me all the way back here too. If you collect all the Chaos Emeralds, you, in addition to getting the true ending of the game, no, Justin, you did not tune in to the best level. I went on a short rant about how this is the less fun version of Casino Nights. Okay, it is. I mean, it's probably more fun to watch than it is to play. I hate the placement of these bumpers and all this crap. Yeah, okay, so Justin, quick nostalgia trip here. Do you remember when we were in middle school and Alex let us borrow his Genesis with this game? We got stuck on those up and down things for so long. You actually have to push up and down with the controller, not bounce on them and use the momentum of the level. Oh, I was not thinking. You have to actually hit the sky to open that up and then the spinning top piece again. Tails, save me! Ah! Okay, third time's the charm. Maybe I'll actually be able to get this out. You collect all the stinking Chaos Emeralds in addition to the ending. You get Supersonic, and he's really handy. Once you get 50 rings, all you gotta do is, I think, jump, and you basically get like double speed and invincibility as long as you have rings, which count down with every second. So. Oof. This guy might beat me again. There we go. Yeah, Tails is not the most helpful. Now, if somebody's two-player, Tails is incredibly helpful, because then Sonic just hides in the corner somewhere and lets him do all the dirty work. So Knuckles is going to show up very soon here. There are these little story segments, quote unquote, before some genius at Sega or Sonic Team decided they needed to add dialogue and do a bad job of it. Ah, crap. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, there's going to be this sequence with Knuckles coming up pretty close here, and he's more of an antagonist in this game. He's not Sonic's friend right away. You don't understand his role until it's kind of implied through some dialogue-free sequences in the follow-up game. These are these up and down things that Justin and I were referencing. So, I would spend a crazy amount of time trying to time jumping on these, and you can only get them to move so much. All you have to do is push up and down on them as they move. This was before the days of reliable information on the internet. Yeah, that's totally it. That's it, Justin. You had to rely on what kids would say at school or just your friends, you know? Or magazines. I guess there were quite a few early gaming magazines. If you want to go really old school, arcades, but I don't want to say that's before our time, but arcades were phasing out in favor of consoles when we were younger. Oof. So stressful. This might be it right here. Alright! Not too bad. I got 3 of these emeralds just in this session in the first playthrough. I was only able to get one of them. So Phoenix, each Sonic game, at least the classic Sonic games, have their own unique bonus stages, and some of them are just to get power-ups and, oh gosh, I better not be stuck here. Oh crap, there we go. That was a poorly programmed section right there. The point of those bonus sections are to actually get the Chaos Emeralds, which I went on and on and on about explaining how you get the true ending and Supersonic through those. So yeah, that guy up there, if you haven't been living under a rock and know a little bit about video games, that was Knuckles. And he just cut all the power in here and sent me into this horrible underwater abyss like the jerk he is. Actually, these balloons give us air bubbles, so that's not too bad. Yeah, Justin, do you think did we know Mario or Sonic first? I feel like we played the original Super Mario Brothers and the original Sonic around the same time. I mean, they would have been very, very close to each other. Peekaboo. Where does that come from? Yes, Peekaboo. Totally remember Peekaboo. In early Pokemon days, I think yeah, we played Sonic on our cousin's Genesis, and they had an original Nintendo and a Super Nintendo, and we would watch them for hours. And eventually, they were nice and let us play. But when we started watching, we were seriously too young to get anywhere in these games. Phoenix, I was trying to figure out where you were going with Pika Blue and Pika Red, but I think you're just returning to our internet rumor or schoolyard rumor tangent that we went on. Yeah, so for the longest time when Pokemon Red and Blue were out for original Game Boy, oh gosh, there were all of these like lame fake Pokemon that came up, and for some reason there was this like group of Pikachus, and it may have been based on some leaked information from Japan. There was the Pokemon Meryl that came out, and it looks kind of like a water version of Pikachu. So some kid probably decided that it was Pika-Blue because they thought it sounded great, and it just stuck. And spread like wildfire throughout the schoolyards and early internet. There we go. So our power's back on us. But then there were other, yes, Pika-Blue and his cousin, his lame cousin, Pika Red. Oh gosh. There's also Pika, at least at our school in our neighborhood, Pika Rock. Yeah, that was real original. Rock type Pikachu. So Phoenix, this is another mini game, but yes, Pika Rock was a real thing. That was a mini game that was just about getting power-ups and rings, which is kind of handy. There's less pressure in there. Okay. Justin, you remember what this is? Do you remember this particular spot? I'm asking you specifically because that part right there holds a lot of significance. Yes, that was the spot that that is the spot that when we borrowed Alex's Genesis, we got stuck at. Because that's the spot you can't use physics to get through. You have to push up and down. I remember the level timing out. So if you hit, I think in this game, if you hit 10 minutes, you die and you start with the clock down again. So early Sonic games expected you to beat the level within 10 minutes. I'm rusty. Yeah, I feel like we were. What? Are you guys seeing this? Did you see Tails just floating there? In the dozens of times I've played through this, I've never seen that happen. Okay, there we go. I was thinking I needed to go that direction. I may not even have needed to. Nope. That's cool. I got invincibility. Oh, see? This is why I hate Carnival Bull Crap Zone. They give you that invincibility just to piss you off, because that spot is just not possible to get to. Though I am pretty darn close to the end of this level, and very happy about that. I really do prefer most of the Sonic 2 and Sonic and Knuckles levels. Okay. So for the sake of time, and because I got my continue, I'm just gonna hit that goal right there. If I hadn't hit that goal in the minigame... Oh! There's Knuckles. Being... pest again. Oh, give me a break! Okay, so what this Dr. Robotnik does here is, it's not too difficult to dodge this giant ball he drops, but when he's shooting that electrical charge, it pulls you towards it. And other characters, other than Sonic, are much harder to deal with that section because they cannot run as fast. And if you're patient like me, you try to get 2 hits in and get hit. But I'm a little worried because I think my timer's gonna run out here. Yup, called it. I know, Phoenix, it's unforgiving, old games, unforgiving. I cannot wait to get into the second half of this game. The Sonic and Knuckles portion has some of the most original bosses in the entire series. Very, very fun. Some of them are really hard though. This is not a very hard boss as long as you are patient. So I need to be. I know, this isn't the most entertaining segment to watch either. It's not really that fun to play right here. But I promise it gets better! Sonic's gonna be snowboarding really quickly. I don't know if it's the next area, but I think it is. I think he gets launched out of a cannon and then is snowboarding down a mountain. You can see mountains in the background. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna sell it. Okay, I can get that still. It is nice though, they do transition to the next levels. It's not just like a... There's a certain almost storyboard continuity going on. Okay, I think, I haven't been counting, but it's 1 or 2 more hits on him. And thank God for that. Zappa, 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 that is exactly the sound. Fun fact, they made that sound. They made that sound by somebody using a microphone hooked up to a Sega Master System. Okay. They probably didn't. But I'm sure if they did, that would have been the sound that came out of it. Alright, here we go. Ice Cap Zone. Snowboard time. I know, this is like... this was... that little snowboard segment was so cool when we were kids. So cool. Yoshi's Island. I played... You're talking about Mario World 2, right, Phoenix? I played... So I didn't... That was one I didn't actually play when it's not one I played more than a couple of levels on the Super Nintendo. I would always play it at the store and stuff, but we never owned a Super Nintendo, so we would go to friends' houses, and I ended up buying the version for DS, but I never actually beat that game. That is a very hard platformer. I might actually be in one of the sky areas. I know I'm very close to the end, and I got frustrated and didn't pick it up again. There's actually not too many more levels to this game. It's a pretty short one. I mentioned this in the first stream, but since it's been such a long time, I'll bring it up again. When Sega was developing this game, because Sonic 2 is actually a pretty long platformer game. No, it doesn't have anything like the level count of Mario 3, but the levels in the Sonic games are much bigger and much faster. Sega had planned on making 2 games, but to get out earlier releases, or they planned to make a single game, but to get out earlier releases, I've heard they split it up into 2 different games. So it's Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and then the sequel, Sonic and Knuckles. What I'm playing is the compilation of both of them. So rather than playing them separate, it's going to just transition after the final boss of this game right into the next game. Yeah, Tails doesn't get a whole lot of screen time in this. Just trying to avoid that there. No! Saw that a mile away there. Super careful. Ah! So this is one of these infinite repeating sections here. If I don't do this jump correctly, I might just need X to do that there. For those of you who did not grow up with Sonic games, this is the first game that you can play as Tails solo. At least in the main story. This has a little bit of a three-dimensional thing going on here. Pay attention to when those are on the side. Sonic 3, at least the version that I remember, actually has different mini-boss music. Get him, Tails. No, no! There we go. Ah, still not getting anything out of the ground there. If you hit those, if you hit that sign onto different sections of the ground, sometimes a little TV box pops up and you get 10 rings or a little shield or something. Maybe even a, oh, holy crap. Even an extra life, maybe. Love those little penguin guys. I say that now until one of them hits me. So this is where the difficulty ramps up a little bit. I have not been getting that other bonus game, but I might not have enough rings to do it. Whew. Ah, too bad. Okay, so this is where they introduce these evil little Robotnik power-up boxes, and they, instead of power-up, they hurt you if you jump on them. Ladybugs. Yes, I think I brought that up in the last one. What the heck, I'm repeating everything. This is so stupid and so embarrassing, but it'll get a really good laugh out of everybody. So, I said, we were really young when we started watching, well, it's not in the original Sonic, but in Sonic 2, and you gotta think this was on a really crappy tube TV. For some reason, we didn't see those little icons in... Oh, this is one of the hardest ones right here. We didn't see those icons in the slot machine as Dr. Robotnik's. We thought they were ladybugs. I know, stupidest thing ever, but it continues to be a good classic laugh for, I mean, pretty much every time it comes up, it's a good laugh. But what's the logic there? Like, why the hell are ladybugs going to be the bad thing to get in a slot machine? And no one ever corrected us. I mean, we had older cousins. No, we had older cousins. Yeah, they were probably laughing at us the whole time. Gosh, this is the end right here. Oh my gosh! Oh, I don't think I've ever done that one on my first try. That is, in my opinion, the hardest one of those from Sonic 3. Now, Sonic and Knuckles introduces some new ones, and they get much, much harder. I had to be pretty darn close. Okay, I was gonna say, pretty close to the boss. Oh, I forgot about this guy. I totally forgot about this guy. So he's gonna constantly shoot out these little gusts, or I don't even know what to call them. These little bursts of, I don't know, liquid nitrogen, and they freeze you and hurt you. And oh yes, they're random. it's always a gamble. Ugh. Then he goes a little bit crazy here, but if you can manage to survive it, he's one of the quickest bosses in the whole game. So I don't think this next one is launch base zone, but it is! Wow! Sonic 3 is a very short game. Wow. Much shorter than I remember. So, this is the last level of this game. I'm not of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but this is the last level of the Sonic 3 segment. So after this, it's the halfway point in the game, and I may or may not beat this one tonight, but it'll probably be the last one that I do for this section. So let me give you a little info on the Sonic lore. It is cheesy as heck, but that's kind of what's beautiful about it. It is so late 80s, early 90s, and I don't want to say that the stories in the new ones are necessarily better, because the story in the old Sonic games is really cheesy. It's secondary to the gameplay. It was just added to it to give the developers something to go with, and the kids playing the games a background. But okay, good point, Phoenix. Sonic 06, that was just disturbing, but we're not going to even pretend that that game exists. Here, okay, without being around the bush, here's the lore of this. So, the very basic premise is that Sonic is this really fast hedgehog with his buddy Tails, who is going to save all of these other animals who have been captured by Dr. Robotnik and converted into robots to do his bidding. In Sonic 2, they expand on this, and you'll notice this Death Star looking object in the background here. Well, in Sonic 2, Dr. Robotnik, before he becomes referred to as Eggman, is he constructs his ultimate weapon known as the Death Egg. And yes, it's a total rip-off of the Death Star, and it's beautifully stupid. That is the last level of Sonic 2. So in... oh my goodness. Looks like we got a glitch here. So in Sonic 2, you fight the final boss in the Death Egg, and it crashes back into the Earth from space. And so Launch Base Zone is him reconstructing it and trying to launch it back into space. Yeah, old Sonic music is pretty good. It's very catchy, and it has a good rhythm to it for the speed of the game. Not all of it is perfect, but there are definitely some very memorable tracks. Yeah, I think, Justin, you know what? That is an excellent point. I don't think the developers were trying to take this too seriously. The story, I mean, it's self-aware. They knew they were making a cheesy story. Whereas I feel like modern Sonic Team and modern Sega, they're not self-aware. I hate to put it that way, but I feel like it's the truth. They think what they're doing is really cool, and it's not. It's not cool at all. Was that a chicken? It may have been. kind of like, I'm paying attention to the chat and kind of running on autopilot with this game because I'm rusty, but I'm familiar enough. So yeah, there are swinging frogs, there are these jet birds, those little spike ball guys. Chicken. I'm trying to think of a chicken enemy in here. Unless, was it a chicken? Oh, the tiny baby animal. Yes. So whenever you beat the robots, remember he's converted all of the all the little animals into robots. You beat one of them, beat an enemy, and you free them, and they jump out, and they're usually very cute. The blue birds that come out are called flickies, and they're based on an earlier Sega game that predates Sonic. Different levels have different animals that pop out. Sometimes they'll be seals, sometimes they will be, I don't know, pigs? Ah, what a ripoff. Iggy, good memory, Justin. Yes, in Flicky there is an enemy, it's a little lizard called Iggy. I don't think it ever comes out of an enemy in a Sonic game, though. They're bunnies, for sure. There are bunnies that jump out. So I gotta be pretty close. Ah, you can see he's taunting us again. No, not Iggy Koopa. There's just a little lizard enemy in an old arcade game called Flicky. Look at that. There's Knuckles throwing a bomb. Yes, this, I was wrong. Well, this is one I wanted, but you must have to have, like, I don't know, maybe 70 rings or something before it'll give you the final bonus game here. There we go. Yeah, so I'll divulge a little more of the story as we get to those segments in Sonic and Knuckles. But he debuted as a villain. Wow, I am lucking out hitting this guy because he's a pretty tricky mini-boss, actually. There we go. So yeah, you can get those to pop out of the ground sometimes. So parts of this level are a little more evil because they're underwater segments, and unlike Super Mario, Sonic and his buddies in the early games cannot breathe underwater. They get, I don't know, maybe 15-20 seconds, and then you get this panic-inducing countdown as you saw earlier. Interestingly, if you play as Knuckles in this level, you have a much larger underwater segment that they built just for him, and I hate it, so I'm glad I'm not playing as him. Gotta love that music. Hear that, like, nice, staticky chorus yelling go. Sonic did that because Sonic was cool. Ah, Tails! You just locked me out of those! I really need rings. I still always want to say coins. Yeah, what other games had recorded voices? I feel like there was a handful. Ah, almost made it. There we go. Now, to be honest, I don't know how I'm going to do against this boss because it's one of the easiest of the final bosses of Sonic games, but compared to the other bosses in the game, it's still pretty darn tricky. Because it's a multiple, well, I don't know if they kept it. It's a multiple segment boss in Sonic 3, but they may have simplified it for Sonic and Knuckles, or Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It's been a while. It's been a while since I played this. Rystar? Okay, so Justin... Justin will make fun of me. My brother's gonna make fun of me for the rest of my life because I really got into this lame Sega game called Rystar, which is it's a platform game that's built on a similar engine, if not the same engine, to Sonic, only it's way more lame. And yes, they used a lot of voice sound effects, poorly rendered voice sound effects. Yeah, if you're interested, you can get Rystar on, okay, here is the boss, which may or may not be part 1. Doing a little bit better than... Ugh. Famous last words, right? Yeah, you can get Rystar on Steam. I've seen it. Ha! I stole his little hovercraft thing. Oh, the bad guy in Rystar. Oh, it was like the most brilliant name ever. It was like Greedy or something. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, the villain in Rystar was like an alien named Greedy or something. Yep, Tails is dead. What are we gonna do? Hey, look, the Death Egg is launching. Look at that fire coming out of those engines. So is it gonna be nice to me? And do I have to fight the boss? Yup, I gotta fight the boss. Ugh. So I'm gonna have to do a much better job with this segment so that I can save some rings. Get out of here, Justin. Get out of here, man. Not even gonna repeat that one. You got me, but not gonna repeat that one. It's so important that I keep a ring here. gosh, you have to have really good reflexes. Which I don't particularly have. There we go. Yep, and unfortunately, we have to watch this little segment every single time I die. You can see Knuckles punch me there, then do his little laugh. Go, 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 go. So actually the end of Sonic 3 might have 3 bosses in a row. Just need to time this and watch out for those, and also this stupid little... that silver ball that's rotating around him can hurt you as well. So I don't think they make me fight the third version of the boss here. They might make Knuckles, because his version is almost like a higher difficulty level. Look at that! 3 hits in a row. Yes, okay, good. I did not want to have to fight the next guy. Alright, friends watching, are we ready to call it a night, or should I do one more level? So, there goes the death egg falling the second time. I'll let you guys make the call, because I want to play while, it's more fun when you're all watching. So this is actually the first level of Sonic and Knuckles now. And we're going to get a little more of the story behind Knuckles. The game's difficulty ramps up, but the levels get really, really interesting here. So I think this one is really, really fun. It's got all these bouncy mushrooms everywhere. Yes, it did not freeze. I paused. I can jump right into it. So this little segment here is a Sonic 3 and Knuckles exclusive, only in the compilation, and you see him close off this little section. So we can go in here, and there is this flashing ring here, which takes you to this area. Now, what this is these series... I don't remember what they're called. It's probably just something called... I think they're probably just called Mega Emeralds. I know the one in the center is the Master Emerald. But what happens is you collect the first 7 emeralds from the Sonic 3 segment, and then you have to do different versions for every one of those emeralds to unlock Super Sonic in the compilation game. So it's actually much, much harder. You don't just have to collect 7 of them, you have to collect 14 of them. Gosh, this is a hard one. Gosh darn it, I may have just totally locked myself out. Well, maybe not. Oh, that was so close. Oh my lord. Okay, I'm just missing a couple more, but the speed here is becoming a hazard. Ah. Let's try and break this. I can't believe I did that. That never works. That was pure luck at the end there. That was not pure skill. Yeah, Justin, you're right. A lot of games, when they add... So, for those of you who can't see chat, if you're watching this later especially, Justin said he wishes Sonic games never had talking like this. And I feel the same way, because... And I think that's something that a comment I would apply to a lot of games, because if you don't get the dialogue and the voice acting just right, it kind of ruins the experience. You can create a really good game leaving a lot of things up to imagination. I think the voice casting and the dubbing that they've done with the modern Sonic games, there are a few exceptions, but it's been mostly obnoxious. And there have been a lot of other games that have unfortunately followed suit. I don't think, I'm glad in the modern Mario games, the only talking has really been limited to the opening segments and like just little catchphrases, or you know, when Mario jumps into a level he says something. And also, Charles Martinet is a great voice actor. Yes, Phoenix, I think this is an awesome level too. You can see that they just went crazy with their creativity in the Sonic and Knuckles section. A lot of the creativity that Sonic and Sonic 3 lacked is made up for in the second half of this game. It's pretty late here now, so you're gonna notice that I am definitely like not at the top of my game. Nothing like good old simulated, old school 3D here. Just need 12 more of those spheres. Man, where are those things? Here we go. Gonna go for it! Holy crap! Okay, so those two that I'm looking for are part of a pair that I would have run into earlier. The question is, where in the world are they? Oh, I've been getting lucky today. it's funny, it looks like I only have one Chaos Emerald now. But that's because the other ones were deposited into the Master Emerald room. So I know Sonic and Knuckles a lot better than I know Sonic 3. If you can't tell, I just enjoy this part, this section of the game better, so yeah, I played it more, and so I know it better. I was probably going somewhere with that, but gonna have to give me a break. It's like 10:30 here on a work day for me. So Justin, the only reason I'm good at the blue sphere thing, I usually suck at those, is because they repeat the same blue sphere puzzles in Sonic Mania. So I've had tons of practice. I love this mini boss. So much creativity here. Though I beat him pretty darn fast. Well, there's Knuckles still being a dick. And just a comment on like the art direction of this game. Like, it's such a cool idea to take that first section, which is all green and overgrown, and then make it kind of this. I mean, I'm not sure if it's more of a fall or autumn style, or it's meant to be kind of like dry, but that visual change is really nice. I hate these like weather vane chickens. No, I want that. Help me! You know, Phoenix, I don't know. I don't actually know about the sprites, if they're pre-rendered or not. As someone who's dabbled a little bit in game making and has played a lot of Sonic games, I should definitely know the answer to that. But oh yeah, it does. I see what you mean about the similarities to Donkey Kong Country. Things have a lot of depth to it. This at the time this was out, you got to remember that Genesis had a decent amount of processing power to it for its day. Blast processing. good marketing term. Every kid was like, Sega's cool because it has blast processing. It's way faster. What looked like VV? Like VV from Final Fantasy IX? That might be... That might be the last of the Chaos Emeralds, and now I need to get the harder versions of all of those. Yes, there we go. I can go to Hidden Palace now. So it will take me to that room that was at the beginning of this level. Now if I find one of those big rings. Thanks, Phoenix. It's probably been my best run with the Blue Sphere stages in a very long time. Now I desperately need to find a ring. There we go. Desperately need to keep a ring. Oh my god. There we go. Somewhere over here, yes. If I was Tails, I could fly up to the top and there's a couple of boxes. Actually... No. No. I would have had to have flown up there. So what's that beeping sound? It's this satellite dish. Really great boss. They start experimenting with some 3D parallax stuff here. It's in motion, and I lost all of my rings. What do you know? Jumped right into a spike ball. Let's do that again. And keep in mind, this is actually the first level of Sonic and Knuckles. So this is the first boss. Oh my goodness. Repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Oh. Yeah, Phoenix, I can beat those Blue Sphere stages, but I can't beat the first boss of Sonic and Knuckles. I will not jump there. Okay. Gotta be patient. And look, Tails is actually helping out a boss this time. Oh, okay, I was lucky. There we go. That is a tricky, that can be a tricky one. If you get into a rhythm, it's not hard, but... There we go. Chickens and squirrels. And this giant vehicle coming in, creating that ear-piercing, horrible noise. This is Flying Battery Zone, and this is where I'm gonna wrap it up for the day because I do not have energy to do this level. Though I have had a little bit of practice. Sonic Mania has a remix of this level, which is pretty cool. So that's it. I'm gonna make sure that I don't abandon this game like I did last time. I'm going to, you know, my goal is within the next week to do part 3 of this. I'm guessing maybe there will be 4 parts of this in total, considering that I've already passed the halfway point. So thanks everybody who was able to jump on. Always fun to see, especially friends jumping in and having a good time watching me play through this. Phoenix, I'm glad you got on today too, because I need to bring you up to speed on all of the old Sonic games here and show you all of their glory. Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate you getting on here. And we'll give everybody a heads up next time, and probably be, for those of you interested in catching my next stream, it'll probably be a Hat in Time, either good chance this coming Sunday.